Hi guys, I'm putting together a quick video on how to deal with Reptile. Quite a lot of times when I use Reptile, I get quoted as, I'll give you a direct quote from maybe Mustard and Ketchup and Doku and Foxy Grandpa, where they just say, fucking hate Reptile. And so they should, but with all due respect, a lot of players that hate Reptile don't know how to play against them. In fact, let me change that. Don't use them. I mean, I lose to some particularly poor Kung Lao players because I don't use Kung Lao and I don't think like a Kung Lao player. And I just don't know when Kung Lao players are going to spin, and I eat a lot of stupid spins and get caught with a lot of jump-in punch combos because I think they're going to teleport when they're not. But I've been told by Foxy and Doku that they've reassured me that if I use Kung Lao, I will absolutely know when they're going to spin. And I can say the exact same thing for Reptile. I'm sitting going, guys, how do you not know he was going to fucking do that? How did you not know he was going to dash? How did you not know he was going to jump? Because they just don't know how to play with him. And that's not their fault, and particularly that's, well, you know, they can't be really criticised for that, but, you know, knowing the character helps. And, you know, I can do this now for Reptile, and I can show you guys how to make the Reptile match. Not how to win it. I mean, this will help. Trust me, this will make a Reptile player's life a nightmare. So I thought I'd share this with you guys anyway. So let me start. There's a few things, they all lead into one another, but I'll try to get them in around 10 minutes. First thing I'll tell you about Reptile is the distance. The distance thing will cover this, right? I'm going to talk about the safe strings, distance, and rolling, right? Rolling. Now, you put Reptile in this distance, right? This is you, just for example, and this is me. The opponent's put me in this position now where I can't do anything. I can't use normals, right? Normals don't reach. Very bad normals. Maybe, like, you have to take a risk on some stuff. Maybe you have to quickly risk. But the main thing from this distance is dash. Punishable. Slide. Punishable. That's over the head. That's a non-hit move anyway. That's out of range. It's safe anyway, and even if it does hit you, and you see it coming, he's still in the distance that you want him to be in anyway. Nothing's changed here. If Reptile does that string, nothing's changed at all. So when they start realizing, right, I can't do this, all they can do is jump. The problem why this is bad for Reptile is Reptile players should probably never jump. The reason they should never jump is they have no air control. And what I mean by air control is he doesn't have any move that, none of his moves that he does that you can do can be done in the air, not one of them. So when Reptile's in the air, that's pretty much what he's doing. He's not like Cabal. He can't change trajectory. And then like Katana, he can't just do an air projectile or Scorpion teleport or Ermac teleport or Melina teleport, put in a reset or Sub-Zero, you know, fake out with a clone or something. When Reptile's up there, he's up there, and if he does get you, right? So in fact, you can anti-air him because you know what's coming, and if he jumps, he's fucked. He can't do anything anyway. And his jumping punch is quite short anyway. It's not particularly long, not like Johnny Cage's or anything. If he goes catching the air anyway, that is only air to air, which is 9%. And if it does hit you, it's not a problem because you're still back in that distance that you want to keep him in. Now, let's just give you an example. If your perfect wake up attack distance, perfect. So, but I'm not saying you should do that anyway. But that's the distance you want to be in, and if he does get you in there, it doesn't matter. If he does catch you in a slide as well, your perfect wake up distance again. So don't fear Reptile at that distance. Where you should fear Reptile is this distance. Now I know a lot of you guys try to fight him from back here because you think that's where you should fight him because you're afraid of eating a dash. But that's what you should want to happen. You want to be in this distance because that's the only place Reptile can make a mistake. You're not going to bait dashes and slides from Reptile if you stand back here and let him do this all day. I mean, before we talk about one of the main things and one of the main threats, let's just put the meter on normal to show you how quickly he builds meter from here. Just this alone. You know, everything he does builds insane amounts of meter. The next thing is this. If you allow him to do this, he has a safe jump opportunity if you hesitate or stall on this. And watch the meter build here. Like, that's insane. That's Acid Ball, 2%. The Jumping Punch combo is 6 plus Acid Hand. He's taking 7 to 8% for just landing this. I mean, that's crazy. So you don't want him to be there. Now, how to stop that happening is... Dawn Sub-Zero's just sent me a message asking me, are you making vids? He couldn't have timed that perfectly. Any more perfect. Don't let this first one hit you. Jump, make a read on it, call the opponent's bluff on it. Just try not to get hit by that. Make sure that Reptile is in this distance the entire time, because when Reptile realizes he can't jump because he gets fucked up, he can't dash because he gets fucked up, he can't slide, he can't spit because of your head, and it doesn't create any distance anyway, all he can do is this, and he'll get jumped over. It's too risky anyway, and you just keep pushing Reptile back further and further, just keep moving in this distance the whole entire time until he eventually commits and gets hit with a dash. That's the best way to play him. If you let him go here, this is what you want. I'm with full meter. I'm with full meter. You can't throw projectiles at him, so there's your projectile game going because he's got an X-ray, and when you hit with the X-ray knocks you back to this distance again. For this. You don't want that. Now, do not roll when you get hit with the dash. I'll show you why. You just created that distance again that you don't want, that's perfect for Reptile to get into. You want to slide here again, because roll again after slide because you're back in this distance. Just don't tech roll. Make sure you keep Reptile in this distance at all times. Do not break that gap. What leads into this now is safe strings, right? Don't mix Reptile up. You can't do this very well with Reptile, but let's just try a stagger, like that sort of thing. Try to call the opponent's bluff, because if any time you see a stringer as a Reptile player that isn't a block string, like, I'm not randomly dashing with Reptile. I'm looking for strings that I think this guy's trying to mix me up, and I'll dash in between the strings that I think he's trying to do off the cuff instead of going in for the safe strings. Reptile can't dash between the safe strings. And if he tries to dash after the safe strings, he's in the distance where you can punish him for the dash. Yet again, let's say you're Johnny Cage, you come in and you try to do little mix-ups. Well, you're running the risk of getting 3%, getting elbow dashed because you're trying to mix Reptile up, and you're back at this distance again, which you have to burn meter to get in. Just don't get greedy. Get in, do your safe string, and you do your safe string, and you're still in this distance, and nothing's changed. Reptile is still at the disadvantage because there's nothing he can do. Yet again, he can't do the things we were just talking about. Get into your safe strings and keep him at this distance at all times. Don't be doing this. Don't be trying to do this stuff. You know what I mean? This doesn't work. None of that will work. Reptile will eat you alive for that, and you'll be back at this exact same problem. So those are the things. Just go over them one more time. Keep him at this distance, because he can't do anything, and he'll have to keep doing this, and eventually commit. You'll fuck him up. Can't jump because you'll anti-air him. You do safe strings, because when you do safe strings, he's still at this distance he doesn't want to be in. You'll make Reptile's life harder, not a nightmare, harder than it has to be at this distance, because this isn't where he wants to be. Only thing Reptile players can really do at this distance is this. You know what I mean? That's about it. But that's okay, because yet again, he might take chip damage, whatever, but Reptile's still at the distance. He hasn't actually gone anywhere. He hasn't got out of here. Let's say I did get away with something like that. Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. He's still exactly where he is. It's the equivalent of Johnny Cage players doing the enhanced shadow kick through projectiles. It knocks you away, and you're still back at the same scenario you're in. It's a complete waste. Anyway, so that's where you really want to be. For me, that's the best way. So yet again, get past the first acid ball. Don't let him get the safe jump on you. Just try not to let him get away with that. Don't let him get at distance, and do your safe strings and keep him at that distance at all times, and you'll be fine. It all leads into the one thing. Your safe strings will keep you at the distance you need to be in. Don't get greedy, because if you get greedy with your strings and try to mix them up, he'll dash you, elbow dash you back to the same spot. It's all there if you guys look back through anyway. So guys, I hope this helps anyway, but take it from me. That's the way to fight Reptile, and it will make your life a lot easier and his a lot harder. thanks guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.